Hey everybody, this is Lexi and thank you so much for joining me for another session. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the essential items that I believe every recording artist should bring with them to the studio. I've made a list of five basic things that I think every artist should have when they bring, so let's dive right into it. First off, whenever I go to any studio, I always have my book bag with me to carry everything that I need. So let's go ahead and start with the first item. Put this in my lap. All right. So the first thing that I believe every artist should have when they go to the studio is a notebook or a songbook. Something to write the songs in. Maybe I'm old school, but I like to physically write down my lyrics and I like to see the progress of the song. You know, if a word doesn't fit right, I like to actually scratch it out and then fill it in with a new word. If you don't like using a notebook, then you can use the notepad in your phone to write down your lyrics, but it's really important to have something to document your lyrics on. If you like to freestyle line by line, that's okay too, but I think it's really important and it's a lot better to have a notebook to get your thoughts out more clearly and, you know, to write a more cohesive song and see a good structure for how your song is coming along. I use my notebook basically like a diary. I always say that music is like therapy. Well, this songbook is my diary. The songs are, you know, audible representations of whatever I'm going through at the time. I use this particular notebook for everything, for planning, for random thoughts throughout the day, of course, mainly songs, and I just really like to have a notebook. Of course, something could happen to my notebook. It could get lost or it could get stolen, or there could be, you know, some water, something could fall on it. You see there's a little bit of a smudge there on the notebook. I don't know how that happened, but of course something could happen to the notebook, but I just think it's a good idea for every artist to make sure they have some kind of paper or pen to write on. And again, just get those thoughts out onto a notebook. In my opinion, I have a much deeper connection with the song when I physically write it down as opposed to typing it out on the phone. That's just my personal opinion, but I really feel like a notebook is what makes the whole artist process. You know, that's one of the main parts of it, is writing the song. That's the most personal part about it. So every artist should definitely have his or her own notebook when they're going to the studio. So there's that. The next thing every artist should have, moving on to number 2, obviously if number 1 is a notebook, then number 2 is going to be a pen or a pencil, something to write with. You don't want to come to the studio and have a notebook with no pen or pencil. That defeats the whole purpose of having a notebook, right? Otherwise you might as well just rely on your phone. But you need to bring something to write with. I always keep 3 to 4 pens in my bag, or just with me at all times, because obviously one of the pens could give out and I don't want to mess up my creative process because I don't have something to write with. Personally, I love to write in blue ink, and I actually get really sad if I can't write in blue ink or if I have to use someone else's writing utensils, because I don't know, maybe I'm just weird like that, but I like to use my own stuff. So you should always have at least 3 to 4 pens. I can keep bringing stuff out of my bag. Let's actually see how many I have in my bag right now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that it? No. 9. So I currently have 9 pens in my backpack. Some of them are blue, some of them are black, but again, I just always make sure I have something to write with. And I always keep a notebook with me wherever I go, not just when I'm coming to the studio, because sometimes I get random ideas throughout the day and I want to make sure that I can get it out. I'll record it on my phone on the voice recorder, but being able to write it out and see that idea and kind of bring it to life in a sense by writing it on that piece of paper. I heard that if you write things down, they're more likely to come true. So that may also be why I'm so biased towards notebooks and pens. So yeah, there's that. Next up on my list, a hard drive. If you've been keeping up with my videos from before, then I shouldn't have to explain to you why I think it's so important to have your own hard drive, but I'm gonna reiterate it again. do not rely on the studio to save your files on the computer. Most, if not all, studios are going to delete files on the desktop every day, every week, every month. So you just don't want to leave it up to chance, hoping that the studio is going to keep your files on that computer. I've always been told that if your things aren't saved in 3 places, then they don't exist. So I always carry a couple of hard drives with me, actually. Here's in my bag. I have it wrapped in a plastic bag in my book bag in case it rains or something. I don't want water to damage my hard drives because then I'll be very sad. But you always want to make sure you have hard drives with you because it's your music, it's your material. You should have it with you. Why would you leave it up to a stranger's location or a stranger in general to keep your stuff, So I only have 2. I actually have to get a new hard drive, so I'm kind of slacking. I have to save up some funds to get another one. But I think these are 2 terabytes each. If you have 3 hard drives with at least 1 terabyte on it, I think you'll be okay as far as having all of your files saved. And the file structure of these are the exact same. Because again, you want to keep your files and all of your material and your songs and all of your finished work in 3 different places. So just in case one of them crashes, you're not going to lose all of your files. Yeah, you don't want to leave it up to chance for the studio to save your work because anything could happen. At this studio, a couple days ago, some of the older hard drives have stopped connecting to the computer. That's not to say that they don't work anymore. It's just, that might be a sign that they might be about to go. So you always want to make sure you have your own hard drives, at least 3 of them, with all of your material saved onto it, or make sure that you have 3 places that your files are going to be safe in. And that's really to just cover yourself, right? If you care about your material so much, as you should if you are a serious artist, then you will make sure that you have a place to keep all of your files and make sure that, anything that could go wrong might go wrong. So just stay prepared, basically, is what I'm getting at. So the 4th thing that every artist should have when they come into the studio is going to be water. For me personally, my sessions tend to range anywhere from 4 hours to 6 hours at the minimum. So, after that long amount of time, my voice gets tired, it gets crackly. To keep it hydrated and to keep it moisturized, I make sure that I have water. I usually have a water bottle lying around in my car wherever I go. So just in case I'm going to get called to the studio to do a session, I have it with me. I don't have my water bottle with me at this particular studio because this is like home base. I know there's always water here. There's a fountain out there, or we have filtered water in the studio, so I don't worry about that so much here. But when I'm traveling to other studios that I haven't been to before, I make sure I bring my own water bottle because you just never know if that kind of stuff is going to be available to you. Although it should be a standard, you just never know. Don't make any assumptions that you're going to have everything you need. Just go ahead and bring everything that you need, everything that you want with you to the studio, so then there's no question about it, and you're not wasting your studio time worrying about something that you don't have. So the last and final thing I think every artist should have with them when they come to the studio is going to be a phone. Now, I know you may be wondering why this is on the list. Well, I say that bringing a phone to the studio is very important because you want to be able to document that you're working, that you're in the studio. I personally, the only reason I have a phone in the studio or my camera, I make YouTube videos. So I always have my camera with me. But for me, I have the phone here strictly to document whatever I'm doing in the session. So when I have my phone with me in the studio, I keep it on silent because I don't want it ringing or going off in the middle of my session and breaking my focus like that. See? All right. Turn that off. Matter of fact, let me turn this on silent right now because that was not cool. Okay, so yeah, I like to keep my phone on silent when I'm at the studio because I'm here to work. I'm not here to talk to anybody. I'm not here to text anybody. I don't need to know what's going on out there because everything that I'm doing is in here. So for me, I keep my phone on silent. This is strictly for promo use when I'm here. So that being said, whether I have my phone or my camera, use this as a way to document what you're doing in the studio. So not while you're necessarily writing or working on the song, and you can even have someone else in the room taking pictures for you, but you don't want to use this while you're in the process of actually recording. But during the bounce time, when the engineer is making a copy of the song for you, you can use that time to take quick pictures, do a quick video, take a couple snaps to let people know that you're in the studio working, and you're not just one of those people who talks about being in the studio. You're actually here, you're actually doing it. For an added tip, you can take a whole lot of pictures at the studio and use that as kind of like, stock pictures to show people that you're working, or at least to give the illusion that you're always in the studio working. You could take like 20 to 50 pictures, literally, or videos in the studio, and you could post that to any of your social media sites. I mainly do Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but you can post to your sites once a week, or you can post every other day, just to get that, that perception that you're always in the studio, that you're always working. That's a little secret that I use. I try to get different angles and different shots of the studio to make it look like, I'm here at different points throughout the week or throughout the month. I think I've even gone so far as to bring an extra shirt to the studio to change up my look so people wouldn't think that I had just taken a bunch of pictures. It gets kind of crazy, but anyway, the point being that the reason why you should have your phone, if you don't have your notebook, there's the notepad on there to type your lyrics, but really it's a marketing tool. You're an artist, so no matter what you're doing, you're always wanting to let people know who you are and what you do. So the best way to do that is to document what you're doing. Take pictures of you sitting at the computer, take pictures of yourself while you're in the booth, take snaps of, people do the little camera videos where they're showing the logo of the studio with themselves in it and they're playing their music in the background. That's another way of marketing. So I think it's really important to have your phone with you for that reason. It's really important for you to have your phone with you for that reason. And that completes my list of the essential items that I believe every recording artist should bring with them to the studio. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below in the comment section. Tell me what you liked about it. If you have any additional questions, please ask that, or I'll leave my email below so you can email me any questions that you have and I can address that in another video. If you would like to see more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so you can get notifications each and every time I post a new video. But as always, thank you all for watching. Until next time.
Hmm.